I worked for multinational consulting companies for about a decade and got frustrated for a couple reasons. I would take leaves of absence to do volunteer projects and then get penalized. But also there's a focus on curing problems after they're created rather than preventing them. So I need to start EnviroSteward so that we could actually move to the prevention stage of not using energy, water, chemicals in the first place.
It's more conservation focused versus fixing problems that already happened. So it makes a lot more sense to try to prevent problems before they happen than deal with the mess afterwards. I think it's better for companies, the people we work with, and I think it's better for the environment to prevent things from happening before you have an environmental issue.
Back near when it started up, I guess I met with Mike Morris for lunch one day, and we can do our own things, but if we do them collectively, we can have a bigger voice as part of it, I think, and networking opportunities.
The greatest help it's provided is just introducing me to the community and getting those great networking opportunities at the change management course. It was fantastic, meeting once a month and meeting all those other champions from all other companies.
But one thing I like about being part of the Sustainable Waterloo Region program is that it forces us to look at our own house too. We do all this great work for others, and what can we do in our own office to reduce our greenhouse gases?
So we're in a 100-year-old building, and it had single pane windows down the side here, and we changed them to double pane and then reuse those on the interior to get light around. We have daylight harvesting, but the biggest one would be the living wall we have. So we have an integrated living wall. We're actually removing the CO2 from our office space, and 97% of the year we don't take any air outside, so we don't have to heat it or cool it. Would be probably the biggest impact we had.
Bruce sort of came up with the idea of using it to put our air through into the office. I thought that was just a great idea, and it looks really nice, and two, it has a practical purpose as well. It avoids introducing more air into the office to heat or cool.
But our biggest impact is actually at our facilities. So our engineering work actually avoids much more environmental impacts than we create ourselves in our office. So what we want to do is scale that up by helping more facilities. For example, we just finished 50 factories yesterday across Canada, and we found them an average of $230,000 of food savings, which then saves all the greenhouse gas, water, chemicals to make that food in the first place, and protects every job there because they have more margin.
So I met with Bruce, and what really appealed to me from the beginning was he's an engineer. It wasn't just a sales pitch. He was actually giving me real numbers and explaining the process. He understands how things work and the tanks that we use, and so he was able to really explain it to me, but also really helped me to kind of see the environmental impact that we could have just by cutting down on our food loss, and then the whole supply chain as well. So it wasn't just like us reducing our waste and loss, it was actually the impact that was having further up the supply chain. So yeah, it was he was very good at explaining it to my level, basically.
It's popular to put up solar panels and those sorts of things, rainwater harvesting, all that, which is typically capital intensive, and the payback is much longer. So what I really like sharing with the clients are some really quick wins of, why don't we change the lighting systems first so they don't use as much electricity, so you don't have to capture electricity either from different grid sources or from solar panels. Or just simple things of, you've already embedded all these utilities into this product, why lose it off the floor because of a poor working conveyor belt? So let's focus on those really quick wins first, and that's when you're really going to achieve your GHG goals.
So we use revenue from what we do here to do development work in East Africa, and we've demonstrated how you can use a business model to make and sell these sustainable filters, and we're now interacting with 10 other projects in Africa who want to learn to use this approach. So we want to be able to scale up this approach that we're using.
I really like Waterloo Region. I live in Northeast Waterloo, and I can drive 2 minutes. I'm out in the country, and there's farmers' fields, there are barns, there are Mennonite horse and buggy on my way to work, and I just like all the green spaces. I find it very soothing to be able to drive to work and drive through green spaces, and it's hopefully something that the region really preserves.
But just to always have that sort of gumption and energy to find these new ideas and really implement them. I hope that stays.
I think for the region, don't lose that heart. And so there's a tendency in our work, unfortunately, the wealthier people are, the less generous they tend to be. And so if you want to see real generosity, you look to the poorest people because they actually know how to invite in neighbors. And that should be convicting for us to share what we have. And you don't need as much as we think we do.